Seth Rollins is leaving with the title.
Leaving WrestleMania with the title?
Yes, I think he cashes in and he wins the title.
Mm-hmm. I've entertained that idea as something that could happen.
That's only if Lesnar wins. I don't think he'd cash in and beat Roman, though. But I think if Lesnar wins, he could cash in and beat him.
Now, if Roman Reigns' big, enormous face push had been successful and they really wanted to make him look strong, they would do a thing where he would beat Lesnar for the title. Right. The crowd would go crazy. Rollins, Lesnar would beat the crap out of Reigns. Rollins would try to cash in, and then Reigns would beat him too. But that's only going to make the crowd even more obsessed.
Right. That's something I said months ago, way before this whole stuff even happened, because I thought that I didn't think it was going to turn into this big negative thing with Roman, but once it started to become obvious that it wasn't going to go over so well, I was like, well, that ain't going to work. But I thought that to really put him over, they'd have him beat Lesnar, Rollins cashes in, and he beats Rollins all on the same night. But if that happens now,
that would be
oh
awful.
My God.
That would be awful. At this point, Rollins should not do anything with the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. Not in this situation.
I think if Lesnar wins, I think that's the prime opportunity to do it.
But then you might turn Rollins into the biggest babyface in the company.
No, because Lesnar's not hated.
But see, if that happened, I would be cheering for Rollins, and I don't even like Rollins.
Me too, but that's the thing. I don't think people would automatically just become a huge Seth Rollins guy because, like I said, a lot of people love Brock Lesnar because he's this big destructive force and he kicks everybody's ass. So
I liked Lesnar. I like Lesnar more than I did. I think I had a lot of hurtness. Is that a word? Towards Lesnar. Because I didn't mind him coming in. I didn't mind his stuff, but then with the Undertaker thing deeply impacted me, even though I know that was Lesnar does not care. Lesnar did not want to or need to beat the Undertaker.
Yeah, Lesnar would have gladly taken the 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring if they asked him to.
Yeah, this is all Vince and this whole concept of Vince needing Lesnar to win so Lesnar would beat, at the time, Bryan, leading to Lesnar having this whole thing and then passing it to Roman. So I can blame Roman. I can blame
Kevin Dunn.
I can blame Kevin Dunn for anything. So imagine if Bryan doesn't get hurt and Lesnar squashes him at SummerSlam. The internet would have been on flames. But maybe that would have been better. Maybe the world would have wanted a hero and they would have settled for Roman Reigns. It's all moot.
I don't know.
You can't go back. Who knows? If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. We got to deal with the realities.
Well, and the whole Roman Reigns thing would have been – they could have solved the whole Roman Reigns problem by just not putting Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble. Yes, he's probably not over –
the Royal Rumble.
But, no, because, the plan was to have Roman Reigns be the guy. And if he was going to be the guy, then the big mistake was putting Bryan in the Royal Rumble and not having him win. Yeah. That was the mistake.
Hindsight, Bryan shouldn't have been in the Rumble.
Well, if you had known how it was going to go down, you would have said that. At the time, you would have been pissed.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If you had known what actually was going to happen.
Back on it.
But what if I had told you afterwards that the plan was originally Bryan was going to be in there for like 9 minutes and get tossed unceremoniously?
That's the whole thing. If they were going to go with Roman, don't hype up Bryan coming back and giving people the hope that Bryan could be the one to win the Rumble. Then have him only be in there for 10 minutes and not do anything, and then have the Rumble keep going for another half hour.
That exacerbated the fact that the audience didn't like Roman Reigns already. They didn't like the idea of him winning, but add that to the fact that you've got Daniel Bryan that you made look like a geek. It's one thing if he's in the Royal Rumble and he does something and he makes a statement and maybe he and Reigns are the last two guys and Reigns eliminates him. Okay, at least he had a good run. You had him in there for 9 minutes. He did nothing.
Yeah.
And then you had Reigns win.
Speaking of exacerbating, that whole thing was exacerbated by the fact that Dean Ambrose did nothing, Dolph Ziggler did nothing, and then you had the number one action hero in Hollywood come out trying to help his cousin, and The Rock's face said it all at the Rumble. The Rock's face said it all. So this has been – the last year has been an enormous clusterfuck. And I'm not just talking about in wrestling, but in the world, which I'll get to at some point, but I'm still not speaking on things. So yeah, that's WrestleMania 31 or WrestleMania Silicon Valley, and a big announcement. Speaking of WrestleMania weekend, they announced that Connor the Crusher is going to receive the Warrior Award at the Hall of Fame. I think all of us are familiar with Connor the Crusher. He was a very sick little boy. His favorite wrestler was Daniel Bryan. If you haven't seen the video that put together, get yourself a box of tissues and look at that video 15 or 20 times. And it is, I even talking about it, I get a little emotional. And we were not going to go to the Hall of Fame because this was a lackluster class, and now we may go to the Hall of Fame. It's not 100%, but it's possible because of Connor going in. And there's been some backlash that the WWE is using this sort of as a publicity stunt, and they are exploiting a dead child for good publicity and public relations and stuff. But honestly, I don't care if you do something good and do something right for the wrong reasons, you're still doing something good and doing something right. And I think there was definitely a connection. I mean, they started a whole foundation. I don't think that Hunter and Stephanie are horrible people that would exploit a child's death just to advance their company. I just don't believe that. So I'm very happy about this. I think it's very interesting. I'm wondering what they're going to do with this down the road. I mean, this is a very special thing with Connor. And he's one of the reasons that I'm more on Daniel Bryan's bandwagon than I wouldn't be. And it's, what else can you say? Corey, I know this is a really big story to you. This is a story that tugs at your heartstrings, and you're one of the most surly fucks I know. And yet it gets you emotional.
It does, man. I mean, it was such a sad story. It was great to see him, be at WrestleMania and get to see Bryan win the title and have that moment. And, then you hear that he passed away a couple weeks later, and you see the video of him, with all the dirty superstars and divas and all that, and you feel for him and for his family, and it is something that you get emotional about. And that's, as soon as I found out that he was, they were going to honor him in some way. We weren't planning on going to the Hall of Fame, but once that came out, I was like, I feel like I have to go. I want to see this. I feel like this kid has just, touched so many people that, he deserves it, that everybody who is going to be there that weekend should at least try and get there to see this, because, he's obviously meant a lot, I think, to the company. And, Stephanie has, said many times that ever since she met him that, she had a connection with him and all that. So, I mean, it's a special thing, and it's cool to see if they're going to do this from here on out with the Warrior Award, honoring somebody every single year. And I think he's a good way to start it off. I mean, he touched a lot of people, and even still to this day, people talk about him and with everything that he went through, and want to see stuff like this.
It's very interesting because he was so sick. He wasn't supposed to even make it to WrestleMania. And he kept going because he wanted to see Daniel Bryan win the title. And Daniel Bryan leaves the ring, and the first thing he does is goes and talks to Connor and says that he helped him win and all this stuff. It's a really emotional moment that, we're going to be talking about for a long time. And I'm very happy that they're doing this. So we'll see. We may or may not be going to the Hall of Fame, because I'm still very torn, and I'm maybe even more torn now because I'm a very emotional person. And if there's some obnoxious fucking asshole fans, I may get arrested if there's a problem. So we'll see. But also for WrestleMania weekend, on a more jolly note, it was announced today that they're going to be running a live NXT show Friday night after Access. So we have already gotten tickets for the Evolve show on Friday. That seems like a really stacked card. We're going to the Shimmer program on Saturday. Shimmer's become a yearly thing for us at this point. But Friday night, we're going to go to the NXT show. I don't think anything has been announced as far as what's going to be going on, but it's NXT Live, and we get to see some of these guys we see every week. We get to see some of these people that we have loved since before they were in the company. and we will be going, and I'm very excited. I think this is great. I didn't think they would be doing something like this after they announced the NXT Takeover live special in February, but they were in Columbus, Ohio. They were in Cleveland. They're planning on going to the ECW arena, and they're going to be going to San Jose during WrestleMania Silicon Valley weekend. So how excited are you that we're going to get to see these guys live and in color?
Oh, I'm this. I think I might be as excited to go to this as I am with WrestleMania. I mean, I wanted to see all these guys and see it as an NXT show, and with them going on the road more now, it made sense that they would do some type of show. It doesn't have to be live on the network. It could just be a regular type of house show, but they're gonna be there anyway. So why wouldn't you run some type of show for NXT and let everybody who is flying out to California for WrestleMania weekend see the future, which is something you've been hyping for a couple of years now. The future is now. So, having this show, you're going to be able to see Owens and Balor and Sammy and all of them. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure that those guys are probably psyched because they're going to probably draw a big house, for that show, and a lot of people are going to go and see it. They'll probably sell it out. I have no doubt about that. And I would expect them all to bring their A game and probably treat it almost like it is one of those NXT takeover shows where. Oh
yeah, I think they're going to be treating it like it's their WrestleMania.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, because
in a lot of ways,
especially if I don't even know where the venue is, but if they can put a lot of people in there, then they're gonna have a little bit of extra motivation to do something.
It's the San Jose State University Event Center. So let's go to the videotape here. The Event Center, San Jose State University. Let's see if I can find any information about this. I don't know if this is the... Oh, there it is. The Event Center Arena has 40... It can host 4,600 people.
Oh, for NXT, that's going to be a good crowd.
Yeah, that's going to be... And they're going to fill it.
I think they'll fill it.
Yeah, they'll definitely... I have very little doubt they're going to fill that. They'll get 5,000 people in there. And even other organizations, knowing that NXT is so popular, are trying to sort of market them with NXT. Like Gabe Sapolsky tweeted, you can go to the Evolve show in the afternoon, and you got plenty of time to go to NXT that night. So you even have other promotions basically treating NXT like it's its own promotion. And I think that's how Hunter is treating it. I think that's how we treat it. And in a lot of these voting for the end of the year awards, a lot of times people asked and they were allowed to treat NXT as a separate promotion. And it really is a separate promotion in so many ways.
But how pissed is Ring of Honor though?
Oh, fuck them.
I mean,
there are some fans that when I know our friend Billy is going with Dre, who we met at the Rumble, they bought front row tickets to Ring of Honor. So they're going to go, and that show starts at like 7 or something, or 7:15. Yeah. Everyone is racing like a son of a bitch from the Ring of Honor show to try to get at least part of the NXT show.
Yeah, you're either going to have to leave ROH early or miss the first hour maybe of NXT.
Hey, you know what I'm going to say about Ring of Honor?
Well, I mean, you got to go like 45 minutes away to get to this Ring of Honor show. So,
what would the Iron Sheik say?
I don't want to say it. I like Ring of Honor.
Fuck the Ring of Honor. Terrible. They have very talented people, but they fucked us last year.
Did they fuck us, or did the city of Westwego fuck us?
Well, the cab company really fucked us, but the fact they had to have the venue out in fucking Westwego, Louisiana, was really the problem. Now, though Billy and Dre are smart, they're going to have a car that day. If we had rented a car, or I tried to get a limo from the hotel, and what a clusterfuck. So, but Ring of Honor set the table for that. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, that's a happening, as Gorilla Monsoon would say. Let me look at my thing here. I'm trying to do a couple things at once here. Oh, I got something I got to take care of. So there was an enormous UFC fight since we've been here. Ronda Rousey defending her title versus Kat Zingano. I don't know exactly what happened. I turned around and I tried to put some mayonnaise on my sandwich, and all of a sudden the fight was over. So it was a fight so short you could make it into a vine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send it over to our UFC and MMA senior correspondent,